The sky was dark, heavy with storm clouds, and the city streets shimmered with the reflections of neon lights in the endless puddles. Rain pelted down mercilessly, turning sidewalks into rivers and empty alleyways into small lakes. The night air was thick with the scent of wet earth and the distant sound of car tires sloshing through the water. But in the middle of this storm, another sound pierced through the rain, a desperate whimper barely audible over the roaring wind. Two abandoned pit bulls, trapped in a deep, grimy canal, their tiny cries lost in the howling storm. They had no way out, no shelter from the icy downpour, and no one to call for help. But fate was about to change their story forever. Chapter 1. A Call for Help. Mia, a young animal rescuer with a heart bigger than the city itself, was settling in for the night. The rain battered against her window, and she wrapped herself in a blanket, scrolling through her phone. That's when a message popped up in her local animal rescue group chat. Two pitties are trapped in the canal near West 14th Street. They're soaked and terrified. Can anyone help? Her heart clenched. Without hesitation, she grabbed her rescue kit: rope, blankets, a flashlight, and a few treats. She threw on her raincoat and bolted out the door. The streets were nearly empty, the storm scaring away all but the most desperate souls. She splashed through puddles, the icy rain stinging her skin. As she neared the canal, she could hear it, the sharp, panicked cries echoing against the concrete walls. Chapter 2. A Heartbreaking Sight. Mia skidded to a stop at the edge of the canal, gripping the rusted railing as she peered down. Her breath caught in her throat. Two pit bulls, barely more than skin and bones, huddled together on a narrow patch of concrete just above the rushing water. Their fur was slick with rain, their bodies trembling violently. One was a light brown with a white patch over its eye, the other, a darker brindle with a scar across its nose. They looked up at her with pleading eyes, their ears flattened against their heads. They were trapped. The walls were too steep to climb, and the rising water threatened to pull them under at any moment. If she didn't act fast, they wouldn't last the night. Chapter 3. A Dangerous Descent. Mia's hands shook as she tied the rope securely around a metal post. She had done rescues before, but this was different. The rain made everything slick, the water levels were rising, and the terrified dogs might panic. But there was no time to hesitate. She fastened the harness around her waist, took a deep breath, and started lowering herself down. The walls were cold and wet, and her boots struggled to find purchase. Halfway down, her foot slipped, and her heart lurched into her throat. The rope burned against her palms as she caught herself just in time. The pit bulls whimpered louder now, pressing closer together as if trying to disappear into each other. "It's okay," Mia whispered, trying to keep her voice calm. "I'm coming to help you." Chapter 4. Gaining Their Trust. Reaching the bottom, Mia carefully approached the dogs. They shrank back at first, their bodies coiled with fear. Who could blame them? Humans had likely abandoned them, and now another human was approaching in the middle of a storm. She crouched down, keeping her voice soft. "Hey there, sweethearts. You're safe now." She reached into her pocket, pulling out a piece of jerky. The brindle one sniffed the air hesitantly, eyes darting between Mia and the food. After what felt like forever, the lighter one took a slow step forward, then another. With a tentative sniff, it gently took the jerky from her hand. The brindle followed suit, his tail giving the faintest of wags. Relief flooded Mia's chest. They trusted her just enough. Chapter 5. The Rescue Begins. With one arm wrapped around the smaller pit tie, she secured a harness around it and gave a sharp tug on the rope. "Pull her up," she yelled, hoping her rescue partner, Jake, was still holding steady at the top. The dog yelped as it was lifted, legs kicking in the air. "You're okay." Mia reassured it as she watched it safely reach the ledge above. Now only the brindle was left. He wasn't as eager to be lifted. He backed away, tail between his legs. "Come on, buddy, we don't have time," Mia urged. She reached for him, but a flash of lightning and a deafening crack of thunder sent him into a panic. He lunged away, straight into the rising water. Mia's heart stopped. Chapter 6. A Race Against Time. "No!" Mia screamed, scrambling toward the edge. The brindle pit tie thrashed in the water, his eyes wide with terror as the current pulled him further away. Without thinking, Mia dove in. The icy water stole her breath, and the current was stronger than she had anticipated. She fought against it, swimming with all her might toward the struggling dog. "I've got you," she gasped, wrapping her arm around him. The pit tie went limp in her grasp, exhausted from the fight. Using the last of her strength, she grabbed the rope Jake had thrown down and held on tight. Inch by inch they were pulled to safety. As soon as they reached solid ground, Mia collapsed, the brindled dog trembling beside her, licking her face as if thanking her. Tears mixed with the rain. They had made it. Chapter 7. Warmth and Safety. Wrapped in warm blankets, the pit bulls lay curled up in the backseat of Mia's car, their eyes heavy with exhaustion but filled with something new, hope. Mia turned to Jake, who was drenched and shivering but grinning. "We did it." "Yeah," he said, scratching behind the brindle's ears. "They're safe." As they drove toward the shelter, Mia glanced in the rearview mirror. The two Pitties, once abandoned and afraid, now lay side by side, their tails wagging gently in their sleep. Their nightmare was over. A new chapter had begun. Moral of the story. Kindness can save lives. A small act of compassion can change someone's entire world. Never give up on those in need. No matter how difficult the situation, fighting for the helpless is always worth it. Fear can be overcome with love. Trust isn't given freely, but with patience and care, even the most broken souls can heal. Teamwork makes a difference. Working together in times of crisis leads to success and hope. Every life matters. Whether big or small, every creature deserves love, warmth, and a second chance. And so, the two abandoned pit bulls, once lost in the storm, found their way to safety, not just in a shelter, but in the hearts of those who refused to leave them behind. Red Heart.